I'm late to the table on this news. This news came out a few weeks before Spygirl from the Book of Saw hit theatres, and that is Saw 10 reportedly in development. And this comes from Screen Rant. And the reason why I've been putting this video off for so long is because I've been thinking about what I would like to see and where I can see the Saw franchise going with this new Spygirl franchise that might or might not spawn a ton of sequels and might relaunch the Saw universe, and where I would like to see it go. Okay, so I want to get this off my chest first. As much as I didn't like Spygirl, I can respect that movie for the new, fresh direction. I don't like it, but I respect it. I respect that they did something ballsy. They did something that may have pleased or not pleased fans. The overall reception of the movie was very positive. But myself, I wasn't the biggest fan of Spygirl from the Book of Saw. And a lot of that came from the title. To me, it's a very misleading title. It does very much in some scenes, mainly in the traps, it does feel like a Saw movie. Don't get me wrong there. But in the score, the comedic elements, and just the overall interconnection into the Sawverse, to me it failed, because Spygirl, it didn't really connect. Like, it has Saw in the title, but it doesn't connect into any of the past 8 movies that we've seen. And my problem here is there's characters in the original timeline that are still alive. For example, Dr. Gordon, we know for sure he is alive. Detective Hoffman, we can assume he's dead, but who knows? This franchise has a lot of tricks up its sleeve, so who knows? He could very much still be alive, as far as we know. He could have gotten out of the bathroom in some way. And there's other questions left over in the original timeline that could very much blend itself well into this new Spygirlverse, if you want to call it that, or this new franchise of Saw movies that are going to be coming out. And there's even a Saw TV series coming out. And so here's what I've been speculating, and here's what I would like to see happen. So Spygirl, if you listen to a lot of interviews from the director Dan Bozeman, he directed Saw 2, Saw 3 and Saw 4, he has said that Spygirl is a standalone Saw movie, but it exists in the universe of Saw. It just takes place at a different time to the other movies. That I don't mind if they are willing to interconnect it into the previous timeline of the original 8 movies. Which the only interconnection I caught out of Spygirl was that John Kramer is dead. So we know that Spygirl takes place after Saw 3. And since it's based in present day, it would take place maybe, I want to say 20, 30 years. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but after Saw 7, the final chapter. And that was the only interconnection I caught in that movie. So much left over in the original timeline that can easily be expanded into this new series of movies. And here's what I would like to see, okay? Here's what I would like to see if they are going to continue the Spygirl storyline, which from these reports, it seems that they are going to be continuing the Spygirl storyline. Here's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it connect in with the original timeline. How would they do that? So here's what, over these past few weeks, here's what I have thought of. So maybe Will, which, yes, spoilers, I'll put that at the beginning of this video, was the killer in Spygirl, which he was Zeke's partner. Maybe he could, since he's still alive at the end of Spygirl, maybe he could team up with Dr. Gordon, who we know is still alive in the Saw universe. And those two could meet in the next movie, and they could continue on Jigsaw's legacy, because Dr. Gordon was John Kramer's most trusted apprentice. So maybe Dr. Gordon could teach the ways of Jigsaw to Will. Those two can continue on Jigsaw's games, but I'm also thinking that is unlikely as well. It seems Will has a different motivation for why he's killing people. He's only killing all the dirty cops. And Jigsaw's moral was for people to cherish their life, and people who have mistreated themselves, and that's why they're put into John Kramer's game. So, there might be a conversation there. So that's why I'm saying it is unlikely that will happen. But I think that would be the most logical way for the Spiral set of movies to connect into the original timeline of Saw. And maybe this is only a possibility I've came up with. Maybe Detective Hoffman, if he's still alive, his whole story in this new Saw series of movies could be a revenge path of sorts on Dr. Gordon for putting him in there, since revenge and all that is a big part of the Saw franchise. I think that would make the most sense, since this franchise is best known for its twist endings. Maybe at one point in time Dr. Gordon met Will as a young kid and told him something that inspired him to follow Jigsaw's legacy, or Will may have seen Dr. Gordon do something or kidnap someone. I don't know, but that is a possibility, maybe. I could be completely wrong then, because in the first movie, Dr. Gordon, he would have been. Did we ever learn his age in the first movie? Did we? I don't remember if we ever knew how old he was, but just estimating for this video, I'm just going to say Dr. Gordon is in his 30s. So that means if at one point in time Dr. Gordon did meet Will, that means Will would have been. I want to say Will is in his late 20s. We'll go for that. So Dr. Gordon would have had to meet Will if he was a really young boy, which is when Will's father died. So maybe that's somewhere in between that flashback we saw in Spiral of seeing Will's dad die by Zeke's old partner. Maybe he could have met. Maybe Dr. Gordon could have met Will within the timeline of that flashback. That is a possibility. Or maybe Dr. Gordon could have heard on the news or read somewhere that there's these new Jigsaw murders appearing all over town, and he could go and investigate to see what's going on, since he is one of Jigsaw's apprentices. Something that just came to mind, Logan, Jigsaw's first apprentice, as far as we know, he is also still alive. So yeah, Jigsaw's apprentices are still alive, so they can easily, this Spiral franchise can easily bring back his apprentices and and connect the original timeline into this Spiral set of movies. I think that would be a great direction if they want to continue this franchise, if they do want to continue on from the Spiral storyline. I'm curious to know everyone's opinion on this at what they think Saw 10 and what the future of the Saw franchise looks like, and what you're hoping to see. Like, I'm curious to know everyone's like expectations or theories on what they think will happen with this new set of Saw movies. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you hope to see in the future from the Saw franchise? Let me hear all your theories and thoughts down in the comment section down below. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye.